Robbie and I were at the biggest hip-hop concert in Houston, the Fresh Fest. It was nice and smooth, the DOC, and then they had Slick Rick, Dana Dane, Eric B, and Rakim, and NWA was headlining. I got front row tickets from a radio station I worked at, and me and my girl Robbie, we was front row center, baby.
Actress and Hollywood personality Tammie chats with me about her new one-woman play, Bag Lady, here at Stage 52. I'm Michael Reel, and this is ReelUrbanNews.com. We are on stage with this wonderful actress, exclusively.
Let's go, Robbie. Slow it down. Yeah. I got a funky rhyme. Break it, Robbie. Woo! What? Woo! Woo! What? Go, Robbie. Woo! All they want to do is in you.
Tammie, Bag Lady, one-woman play. What made you write this?
Well, what made me write Bag Lady was my girlfriend and I, Michelle, were on a flight from LA to Houston. I'm sorry, from Houston to LA. And we, you know, that's a long flight. So that's a long flight. You got to figure out something to do. So we were actually comparing stories of boyfriends we had. And so she would be like, well, girl, this is what Jerome did to me. And I was like, well, what about what Jerome did to me? And she was like, well, what about what Bobby did to me? And I was like, oh, well, what about what? So we were going back and forth, just kind of like switching and exchanging horror stories. And as we were having fun, kind of laughing about it, something hit us both, I think. And we were like, whoa, well, wait a minute. What's wrong with us that we keep getting into these relationships that are so unhealthy? Like, we can't keep blaming them. What's going on in our heads? And so from that point, I wrote the first story, which was one of her stories, and then I wrote the second story on that flight, which was one of my stories. And I thought, I should do this as a show. And that was a few years ago. Since then, in the last couple of years, a lot of people have been encouraging me to do a one-woman show. And I thought, well, now's the time to take those stories and collectively put them together. And if I'm going to do a one-woman show, do a one-woman show that's not for me, but that can benefit all women, and that can be every woman's story versus just my story. So what I'm hoping out of this is that after the first few minutes of the play, you will no longer see me. You will see yourself in the story.
Your story.
Right.
I was speaking with your publicist off camera, and she was talking about the play in terms of speaking with you, what every woman has in common with Lindsay Lohan, Kardashian, Taylor Swift, and these other pop celebrities.
Right.
What do women have in common with them?
Well, the one thing that all women have in common is heartbreak. And we're not exclusive to that. Men suffer heartbreak too. Everyone has had heartbreak. But then there comes a time where you get yourself into these heartbroken situations that are a direct result of how you think about yourself and what you think about yourself. It becomes a time where you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're picking the same men, you're picking the same types, and that's what Lindsay Lohan picks, the same type. Kim Kardashian, all of her men are athletes. There's the same type, you know what I'm saying? All of her men are rich, or all of her men are famous. There's a type, and you keep getting into the same type, and you keep finding yourself in the same situation. So just because they have a lot of money, just because they're famous, doesn't make them any different from an average gal like me or anyone else in this world that suffers heartbreak and that chooses the wrong men time and time and time again. That's what Bag Lady is about. It's not about bad men. It's about the bad decisions that women make when we choose our men, because there's something up here that's not allowing you to make the right choice.
What will men say sitting in this audience with their significant other, their lady friend, their wife? Who's going to drive home? Somebody going to be walking home that night? Or?
That's a good question. No one's asked that question. What will men think? I'm not a male basher, so I don't bash men. This play is not about bashing men. This play is less about the men and more about the epiphany that this woman, who happens to be me, experiences throughout this journey. And so what men will think is, I think by the end of the play, men will say, thank God. Thank God, Tammie, you can get through to these women to let them know we're not all bad. It's not always us. What is it about you that makes you continue to allow yourself to be treated in a certain way? What is it about you that instead of choosing the nice guy, because he's too nice, why do you choose the bad guy? You know, and I think men will appreciate and honor the perspective that I'm coming from. And they won't sit up and go, oh God, another male bashing play, Jesus. Because in the end, every story is an epiphany that the woman discovers about herself. And it's not about the men in the play. It's all about the woman and her choices.
Why Bag Lady and why now?
Why Bag Lady as the title, or why Bag Lady the show? Well, I think Bag Lady because it speaks to women, but I think more than that, it's a personal story to me. And what I've discovered since being in Los Angeles, I'm from Houston, and you know, there is a collective group of people who swarm to Los Angeles to become a star, to be famous, to be rich, to walk the red carpet, and I'm not different than that person. That's what I came here for. And then there was this one day that God said, until you do something for someone else, you won't reap any benefits. I'm not here to make you a star. And this is literally a message that I received from God one day. He was like, I'm not here to make you a star. This is not about you. And until you decide to make it about somebody else and not about you, because when you get to LA, you like, well, who can help me? What can you do for me? Hey, I'm looking for an agent. Can you be my agent? Hey, I'm looking for a manager. Can you be my manager? Hey, can I be in your movie? Can I be in your play? It's all about me, 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 and what can you do for me? And I was like that for the first 6-7 years I was in LA. And then I was trying to figure out ways to create opportunities to myself. And in the midst of that thinking and of that whole brainstorming session alone, God spoke to me. And he said, look, until you decide that it's not about you, and until you decide I've put you here for another purpose, whatever you're looking for, I'm not gonna make it happen. And so I think it was a message from God that made me decide that Bag Lady was not gonna be my play. It was gonna be his play. And I was gonna do whatever was in his will for me to do. And as we did the play, we continued to find out, as more layers were peeled back, that it was not my play, it's God's play. And I mean, we did a Kickstarter campaign that created the funds for the play.
Really?
So I didn't have to pay for the play. Okay. And then we ended up getting a wonderful director who was very anxious and very, you know, very gung-ho about putting the play together. And that was like, wow to me. I mean, things just started happening, and that's when I realized it's not me. Okay. I'm just gonna sit back and ride. I'm riding.
Well, so clearly you have been listening to God. Your acting career, in addition to this What Women Play, you have several national commercials. You're all over the place. Talk about your career.
Oh, clearly I've been listening. I don't listen to God all the time. I don't want people thinking I'm, I don't listen all the time. And most of the time he talking, I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that.
Oh, you talking.
Let's keep it real up in here. Yes, I'm an actress. So the career has been doing well for me so far. I have a few national commercials running right now: macaroni and cheese, a Sam's commercial, a Geico commercial is the popular one that everyone seems to recognize me from. Also I have a Walmart running with Kevin Hart. So so the commercial career is doing fairly well, and in terms of acting and film, I've been in two films that you can get now on Redbox or wherever you get your movies. 24 Hour Love, which is a Don B. Welch production, and then The Divorce, which is a Don B. Welch production, and I play very different characters in both of those movies, so that was really fun and exciting to be able to play the funny in one and then turn around and play like this wounded, you know, helpless, sickly woman in the other one. So I just, that was just awesome for me.
This is Hollywood, and I'm sure as an actress, you must have a wish list of actors and directors that you would like to work with? I'm listening to your publicist.
My wish list is everybody. Of course, Viola Davis. I'd like to be in a play with Iona Morris one day. She like, stop kissing my ass. Yeah, you know, everybody we want to be in. I love to do some work with Tina Fey. Like, I love me some Tina Fey.
Say that because when I see Tina Fey, for some reason you come to mind. As a director, as a director for you, Tammie Mack is a powerhouse talent. A lot of energy. I've never seen her like, she's always like 24 hours. How do you direct someone with that much energy?
Hold a calming space and also hold the root, because Tammie's never done a one-person show before. It's a different animal. It's not the same thing. I told her once, when you're on stage, you have to listen. There's nobody on stage but you, but you've got to listen to what you said, so while you're reacting, the audience is looking, they're like, there must be 2 or 3 people up there. And she does it very well, and now she trusts me. We're trusting each other, and it's wonderful. I love working with her. And that energy is wonderful because the things that come out of her mind are so creative.
I'm dead serious. When I'm watching, I think it's Tammie Mack.
I love Tina Fey, but then I love classic comedians. Like, I'm a huge fan of Carol Burnett. I watch all of her old shows, Lucille Ball. Gosh, just so many funny comics that I just love from back in the day. I can't stop watching them. I'm watching them all the time. So even Gracie Allen, like, I'm a huge fan of Gracie Allen. I'm like, this chick was putting it down. And George Burns was not the funny in that crew.
Right.
So
how are you balancing? You have the #1 radio show.
Thank you.
Southern California.
Yes.
How are you balancing the personality, the appearances, the radio, the acting? How do you stay grounded?
I stay grounded because of my family. My family definitely keeps me grounded. You say, how do I balance it? I don't feel like there's anything to balance, because I don't quite feel like I've made it to the extent that I want to make it to. Like, balancing to me is when you're switching between blockbuster movies and walking red carpets, and you know, but right now I don't have much to balance. I go to the radio every day, and I have to say that KJLH has been a huge supporter in my acting career, which is, that's also God, because most jobs you have, they're like, look, you either gonna be an actress or you gonna be on the radio, or you either gonna be an actress or you either gonna work, you know, at Microsoft. What do you want to do? And they're like, they're not trying to give you a lot of time off. They're not trying to help you and let you leave early or come late. You know, that doesn't happen, because everyone in LA wants to be an actress. So companies look for people who don't want to be an actress. So the fact that I have Stevie Wonder on my side saying, look, I'm excited about your one-woman show, do it, is just amazing to me. I could have never in a million years, Jesus himself couldn't have come down and told me this was going to happen. I would have said, stop lying, Jesus, just stop lying to me. But so yeah, that's how I balance it all, because I have a job who is very supportive, and they, you know, they allow me to, they embrace both sides of me, the radio side and the acting side. And I guess as long as I'm doing my job, they're okay. But if I'm jacking it up, they probably gonna have an issue.
So you're sold out.
4 shows are sold out. We have 8 shows. Only 4 are sold out, so there's still availability.
As we conclude, we know you have a web series with Bag Lady, and then following the web series, what's next for Tammie Mack?
Well, actually, we're gonna, after Bag Lady, the one-woman show, we're gonna focus a little more on the web series. So I have 2 web series right now. One is a sketch comedy web series called High Estrogen. It's all female. And then the other web series is Bag Lady, which I play the bag lady, but most of those stories are not, they are my stories. I wrote them and directed this series, but I have other actors and actresses portraying the parts. So they're different stories. Each episode is a different story. And I play like the Yoda of relationships. Like, I'm the bag lady who comes in and says, hey, you better watch this guy, or hey, you better.
You're the guru.
Yes, I'm the guru of relationships. And so they're really funny. The first episode is already airing on my My YouTube channel, Tammie Mac TV, T-A-M-M-I-M-A-C TV, Tammie Mac TV on YouTube, and you can follow me at Ms. Tammie Mac, M-S-T-A-M-M-I-M-A-C. But the web series, the first episode, Viagra, is up. So you know that's gonna be good.
You're always so genuine. You're always the same. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't think I try to be. I think it's just who I am. You know, Michael, I come from, you know, I come from the hood, and so I believe that, I don't know, I don't place judgment on anyone or anyone's situation or anyone's circumstance, because I honestly believe at any moment it could be you too. And I think I kind of live by that. Like, it could be you too. You're laughing at a homeless person. Well, that could be you. You're laughing at an unemployed person. Well, that could be you. You're laughing at someone because maybe they one leg is shorter than the other leg. But that could be you too, you know. So I'm the person who always goes for the underdog. And I've been that way ever since I was small. I just believe in people. I believe in humans. And so I don't know what makes me genuine. I just am, is all I can say. I don't know any other way to be other than honest, other than straightforward. And I'm from the South, so that's where my charm comes from.